Hello and welcome back to my Dandelion Diaries. Today I'm going to be sharing a flip through of the month of March in my A5 Sterling Ink Common Planner. This is like my everything planner. I really love this thing, but in March I had some struggles. So starting off in the front pages, I have not made any changes whatsoever. Everything is still the same. I still have my cover page here. For the year at a glance, I'm still tracking, like my date nights, vacations, appointments, and menstruation. Everything's pretty much the same with that. No changes there. Didn't make any changes to the vision board, which I usually don't throughout the year. It stays the same. For the index page, I updated my back pages where everything's filling out. And then for my adulting log, again, I've updated the different dates of when I've kind of completed some things. I ended up taking my retainers off the list. I don't know if I showed that in February, but I did that back in February. My retainers ended up breaking, so I just crossed it off. But yeah, so this is up to date. Haven't made any changes with the goals pages, but I do reference this every time I do a monthly spread or quarterly spread. And even weeklies now, I've been doing a little bit more referencing to these pages. For the quarterly spread, I talked about this in my quarter setup for quarter 2, but I'm not going to be continuing this, but I'll kind of explain what I did here again. So in the top, I have a list of things that I want to do this quarter. I have a section where I did a little quarterly review of did I accomplish these things? How did the quarter go? And then the same thing is happening here in the months. So I have this month sections, which is my intentions for the month, and then this month in review kind of thing, of how those intentions went or what changes I needed to make. At the top, I did a stats section. So how many pages I read that month, workouts I did, how many miles I ran, and how many times I ate out. For March, it was not a good month for any of those things. I only read one book. It was Pride and Prejudice, which was 254 pages. I did 4 workouts total. Again, I talked about this more with my health planner. I was not really well a lot in March. Literally, I was sick. And then we also did a lot of coop construction, so going to the gym just wasn't a priority. It was mainly hard labor outside. And then because of that, again, didn't do any runs really at all. I did some sprints, but that's pretty much it. And then because I was sick and I am the main cook in our house, we ate out a lot more, and we ate out a total of 16 times for the month of March, which is really disappointing for me. But hopefully we'll be better, right? We can always be better. For the little tracking situation here, this is, I think I called it, how did I spend my time? I got really sick and tired of this. I was over updating this. I did not want to track my time anymore. I was just really tedious and annoying, and so not continuing the time tracking anymore after this. This is it. But I ended up filling the rest of the month because I'm a completist and I didn't want to just leave it blank. Anyways, for the memories down here at the bottom, I do like my top 3 memories. For March, we saw Dune 2 with Timothée Chalamet and Zendaya. Love them. The movie was so good. So good. The audio, I don't know what it is about seeing it maybe in the movie theater. The audio in it is just fantastic. We also finished our chicken coop. Like I said, lots of hard labor there. And then I celebrated 3 years together with my boyfriend, which is a very exciting milestone for us. Moving on into the monthly section. Didn't really use this for anything other than monthly things, scheduled appointments, holidays, birthdays, etc. I'm really trying to find a better way to use my monthly pages, and I'm hoping in April I'm going to have a new way of showing that. So I'll wait to show that until I do an April video. But I still have my checklist over here for this month, which is something I reference on the quarterly goals pages here. So I pull from the monthly column into this, and then I have some highlights here too, and then the astrology information that I like to keep track of, but nothing super exciting happening in the monthly pages. Okay, so for the weekly pages, this is where things really got interesting for the month of March. So I have been doing a more hourly style of planning in my weekly pages for a very long time. I usually like to use little icon stickers or doodles to just kind of denote, you know, what I was doing on the day at that time. And in March, the first week, or I guess really the first 3 days, I started doing that, and then I changed everything. So I made a video about this, maybe a couple actually, about making a dashboard style weekly. This was inspired by Just Be with Yudia. I literally, this was game changing for me. It was just fantastic. So I started off by putting my events at the top, my workouts, having a list of like what I'm needing to clean in my house, still keeping like my happy moment, rate my week, and then having habits on here. And then I ended up pulling from some of my other planners too. Like down here, I'm tracking my meals, which is something I track in my health planner. So I was really trying to see, okay, how much can I put in a weekly spread from my other planners, not to like reduce my planners because I'm still going to use them. It's more of like, can I fit it all in one book? Like, is that actually something I want to do? And I did try to challenge myself in the month of March to do that, and I'll update all that in a minute. But basically, I kept up with this dashboard layout for a few weeks. This was the week that I was sick, like I mentioned before. So I didn't really do anything for the events, and I just ended up putting this really cute tea washi from the Coffee Monsters Co. And then I didn't do any workouts except for a very long walk on Sunday when I was just really tired of being bedbound. I didn't end up doing anything for the garden. I didn't really end up doing any cleaning. Again, sick, down and out. Just was kind of like I filled in the week because I was sick. But this was way easier to maintain than this type of style where I would have been more of like back planning or memory planning in a way. With this, I didn't have to do anything. Like it was just like, okay, I was sick. Oh well, like done. But there's still a bunch of stuff on the page because I preset this up. And then for this week, this is when I created my Sunny Garden kit from my shop. And I loved being able to see this too. And I like the colors I picked, honestly. I'm not usually an orange person, but I really liked the orange in this. But I basically got to denote like the fun holidays here at the top. Like we celebrated Ostara or the spring equinox, my anniversary here. And then I got to denote like, you know, those events that we had going on, workouts still, garden tasks, to-do lists, habits, main things I needed to take care of that week, meals. Like I still fit everything on this spread. And then I made this little pop out too, so I could journal about the weekend and then have my priorities for next week as well. This was just really quite nice. The only thing that happened was I had all the good intentions of continuing a dashboard style layout like this for the last week of March, and I didn't do it. So what happened was I was so busy with the coop build construction, I just did not have time to kind of plan out my week, since primarily that was the only thing that I was really working on, besides, you know, like general work tasks. And so I ended up doing what I did last year, and this was inspired by Jill Plans the Day, or I think it's Jill Plans the Day, and she does journal entries in her weeklies. So she just uses some fun PET tape clippings, washi tape, and then she just writes out a journal of the week. And this was really nice to kind of fill in the space, number one, and number two, be able to look back on this and be like, okay, wow, this week was a challenge for me. I tried to do way too many things. Like, this is really nice to look back on for me and get to see what I had going on without it being necessarily planned, but still have some kind of synopsis of what happened, so I can still use it as like a reference if I needed to. For the daily pages in this book, I talked about this, I think, in my quarterly video. And yeah, I have some things to say. But starting off, we did really good. We did really, really good. So here is kind of like my dashboard page where I have like the big monthly header, important dates for the month of March, and then my currently inked. I like having this as a place to reference throughout the pages so I can see what pens I was using. And then if I had any important things, I need to make sure to write down on the day when I was making that daily spread. So March 1st, hello March, just did the basic astrology, affirmation, prayers, and tasks. And then I marked down that I got my Birmingham Pen Company order delivered. So basically that's kind of how this starts. So I did a whole page spread of the Birmingham Pen Company inks that I ordered or received and absolutely loved the way this looked. And then I continued to do my dailies, but this is kind of where I changed it to doing half a page. And I talked about this, I think, towards the end of February, where I went from doing like a full page to doing half page spreads for the day. And I love the half page so much more. This was just way easier for me, and I feel like I'm not taking up as much space as I was with the full pages. So for the half page, I basically did 1 day per half page, and I kept up with my astrology notes that I'm taking, affirmations and prayers, and then tasks for several of the days. I will say I ended up kind of falling off on putting my tasks in here, and I ended up doing that more in my 𝗦𝘃𝗁 home, like my personal memory keeping, like more scrapbooky planner, I guess. And I think that's fine because this is mainly working for me with this. Like I'm fine with that. So I continued this half page spread kind of thing. For this day, I still did 1 page for 1 day, but I ended up doing the vertical columns, and I loved this. This was so nice. Also, this ink is 𝗬𝗃𝗁 by Fiercel Press, one of my favorites, and I love the shading on this with the green Pentel marker and like just, oh, yes. This was also Daylight Savings Day, apparently. But yeah, getting to use everything in like a vertical way worked really good. Okay, so this is when I decided, let me try something new. Why not? And this is kind of where I fell off. So I ended up going back to doing 1 page per day. I think having this as like 1 page per day kind of situation, like Sunday, March 10th, this whole page was dedicated to that day. I was like, wow, I can do a whole page for 1 day again, which is what I was used to with like the 𝗦𝘃𝗁𝗄𝗏 and such. So I did my timeline washi that I got from Sterling Ink. I had everything ready to go. I pre-did like a whole week of pages like this because I was really expecting to use, 1 page per day. And then this is when I got sick. And it was like all of this effort that I put in to try something new just kind of backfired on me. And so the first day here, I ended up marking down, like I'm sick, and I did some filming because I had to. I had ramen for lunch because, soup. I still kept up with updating this, and then Tuesday came around and nothing. Focus on healing. Like that's literally all I wrote. And then what happened was I ended up gluing these pages together because I just did not have the willpower to write down anything at this point. Like I just glued them together. Like I had them already pre-dated, set up and everything. And I was like, nope, gluing the pages together. It's fine. We're just gonna have 1 thick page in the middle of the book somewhere and it's totally okay. So then Friday, I was feeling a little bit better and I caught up on a bunch of things and we had Indian food and I was like, yes, I'm finally back to good. And I think I overdid it. Like I just overworked myself because the next day I was back to feeling really crappy. And so this was like my intention for the daily pages where I would have like my little icons of, what I'm doing throughout the day. I love the way this looks, having my notes, my affirmations, prayers, tasks, all of this. This is exactly what I wanted. Like, the meme that's going around like, this is the pastels. This is what I wanted. This is what I got. Like that's what I'm feeling with this because after, I guess, overworking myself on this day, I went back to feeling crappy and just, crossed the day out. And I think I just didn't want to glue this page to this page because I had already glued pages together and I didn't want to be like 4 pages thick. Anyways, same thing happened on this day where I was just kind of like, you know what? Another rest day, splitting headaches, just cancel everything. And it's fine. I mean, I don't like having blank pages. I find that I'm a full page type of person. But I will say the blank pages tell a story and I need to get over it and appreciate that I have blank pages in here with at least a little note of what was going on. So it's not like I just have blank pages to have blank pages. But that's also something about this planner that's interesting because the back pages are undated. Like they don't have dates. I pre-dated this whole week. And I think that's when I learned my lesson that I don't want to pre-date it because if I don't use it, I'm going to feel bad about wasting the page. So enter Monday when I was finally feeling a little bit better, and I got my Coffee Monsters co-delivery, which is always a fun day. But I wrote a letter to myself about, you know, how I was feeling, and, you know, good things will come. Like this isn't the end of the world. And instead of doing like a planning day, I just spent the day as more of like self-care, and I'm going to be better. And then I got back to my groove. So Tuesday, I did on here the same thing where it was like 1 page per day. And this turned out beautifully. You know, I celebrated the astrological new year, Aries season happened, we had the spring equinox, Astara. I wrote a little history in note here about Astara and like the common symbols for it. And then I still did my affirmations and prayers, but I didn't write down any tasks. And I think this is when I was fully dedicating my task list solely to my 𝗦𝘃𝗍𝗄, because I just wanted to focus mainly on using this for what I wanted, which was like taking notes, I guess. So continuing on, you know, 20th, 21st, I kept up with the, you know, half a page thing. If I didn't have a lot to say, I just did half a page. And then I ended up doing another full page here for our anniversary. So I kind of like that I was able to break myself out of this slump from being sick and go back to doing like full pages, half pages, and just getting really back into my groove. And I'm still going to try to figure out what I want to do with the dailies, if I want to predate them out again and try again, because maybe, you know, I won't get sick this time and I'll actually enjoy using them that way. More to come on that, but it mainly I'm just really happy that I was able to bust myself out of the rut that I was in, I guess. Anyways, for our 3-year anniversary, we ended up going to a boba place close to our house, and they have these really cute tops to the boba that are like emojis or emojis. I don't know if you'll be able to see that. I have a light on today. It's really gross and cloudy outside. But yeah, they're so cute. So cute. I also released some new releases this day from my shop, so I wanted to make sure I wrote that down. And then I continued on with the half a page kind of situation. And then this was the penumbral eclipse. I cannot say that for some reason. This was basically the full moon in Libra, and then we also had the eclipse on top of it, which is so cool. And it's definitely eclipse season for Aries, and eclipse season are like together this year, and it's crazy. Anyway, so again, you know, 1 page per day. I just broke the page in half and made little notes about all of that. Then this week happened. This was the last week of March, and this was that week that I was really dedicating myself to the chicken coop situation. So again, weekly, I did a lot of journaling, and then this is the dailies for that. So basically all of this would have been written back here is my guess, but I just didn't want to rewrite it. So I called this the Lost Week. And again, this is another thing that I'm really liking about the Common Planner, is that since the pages are undated in the back, I can use them for whatever I want. I don't know, I have this like internal battle between like daily pages, not daily pages kind of situation. But anyways, I was really glad that I could put all of these together and just kind of like a little blurb of what happened. The last few things that I wanted to show in here is that I used the pages as a washi spread. So this was my latest delivery from the washi tape shop. This is the 𝗙𝘗𝘁𝗵 Profumati di Primera set. My pronunciation of certain things is really poor, so I apologize. I am doing my best to work on that, so if you want to help with pronunciation, please let me know. But this is so fun and neutral, and it has foiling. And then this was the Van Gogh set, the 6-roll one, so it's a combination of the wheat field set and then the iris set. I have to say, I love the colors on these, and I feel like they did a really good job as like inspiration from the Van Gogh paintings. They're really beautiful. And then the last thing that I did, which technically I did this in April, but I wanted to show it in this video, is I made myself a cleaning plan spread. So I used this washi tape from the Coffee Monsters Co. And then I made like this little table of all of the days of the week, so Monday through Sunday, and then a daily section. And then I wrote down, you know, subject to change based on the day, because obviously if I get sick, I'm not going to be cleaning my whole house. But my plan with this is to be better organized about cleaning my house to where it's not going to be a stressor for me, Because I feel like, you know, when you have family come over and you want to have a nice clean space, having a dirty house and having to clean everything all at once is really stressful. But if you're just breaking up that cleaning task throughout the week, it's a lot easier. So I wanted to kind of like resituate myself with this and dedicate some space to it. And I'm really glad that I did. Overall, I'm still totally in love with this planner, even though the month of March had some ups and downs. I'm hoping that in April I will get back into my groove of things with this and just do better. But if you have any questions about anything I used or anything about this planner in general, I would be happy to chat with you about it in the comments. This is my main book for this year. If I had to throw all the others away, I would try to fit everything into this one. And who knows, maybe I'll do like one book July this year or something and try to see how much I could fit into one book, but we shall see. Anyways, thanks again for watching, for joining me here today. I hope you're having a great start to the spring season. I hope you're enjoying all of the eclipses if you're in the eclipse path, all the fun astronomy and astrology going on. But yeah, thanks again, and I will see you guys in the next one.